Welcome back to another episode of the Inquisitive Mamba podcast. This is episode 28. I have two guests joining me for today's show, Light Out and Papi Solo. They're also known for their podcast, NewRivals. They're live on Twitch every Monday, 7 Eastern, and they are on TikTok as well. So without further ado, let's get into today's show and talk about some NBA because that's what we're here for.
Let's go.
All right. So first of all, I see a Lakers hat there. I spot Brooklyn Nets colors here, and I'm pretty sure he's going to pull up the jersey. What number is that? Is that Durant?
This is Kyrie, man. I have a Durant and a Kyrie. Kyrie's my favorite net, but I think KD's the best net. So, yeah, I had to get them both.
Okay, so we got two rivals here. We got Lakers and the Nets. They're on the other side of the one team is on the East Coast, one's on the West Coast. I'm rocking a Lakers shirt here. So before we talk about the Lakers, I want to talk a little bit about the Nets. So are you high and mighty on them winning the finals this year?
100%. And it could be from the years and years and years of being mediocre, but objectively, we have never seen three players this good on one team. So as long as we're healthy, we're the best show on TV, and I think we're winning the championship.
And I think Lightout's got something to say about that because he's wearing a Lakers hat. I'm wearing a Lakers shirt, so I think we both have something to say about that. So take it away.
I want the Nets to make the NBA Finals. I really do. Because like beating the Nets in the NBA Finals will fill me up with joy. But also there's something with the Brooklyn Nets. Their worst enemy is not even the Bucks. It's not any other team in the Eastern Conference. It's themselves. If they can't stay healthy, they're going nowhere. So that's the only issue I got with the Brooklyn Nets. But again, I want them to go to the NBA Finals. I believe they're a great team. But if they stay healthy and they, I'm pretty sure they could run with any team in the East and they'll be in the NBA Finals, so they could lose in 6 games with the Lakers.
Okay.
I want to bring up a point real quick, man.
All right.
People always say this injury. Like the entire NBA wasn't injured last season. Like Laker fans always talk about if they're healthy. Man, I love AD, but when has he been healthy? So I'm tired of hearing about how injured we are because our most injured player, KD, bust his butt in the playoffs, played almost every minute of multiple games. And James Harden has been historically durable. Kyrie, to me, got a freak accident with Giannis. Like, these aren't injury-prone injuries. It's just, last season was condensed, and we got hurt just like most of the teams in the NBA.
All right, so Light Out. So I know you were chiming in about that, so you got to finish that off, and then I'll say what I have to say about that.
Look, people love to say that whole Anthony Davis thing, he's injury-prone. Look, last year in 2020, Anthony Davis was qualified as a top 3 player in the NBA, and people are just going to brush that aside. The only reason Anthony Davis is injury prone or whatever is because he didn't got the rest that your Brooklyn Nets got, that any other team that got eliminated got, because they literally had a month break. That is not enough to recover in an offseason because of the whole COVID situation, how it impacted this world. So Anthony Davis came back rushed because he got injured in the NBA Finals, came back, and he was played in an injured leg. He didn't look the same this year and then ultimately went down. But look what happened. When he rushed back in game 2 and game 3, Anthony Davis looked like the best player on the floor. There was no question about it. If Anthony Davis stays healthy, I do not care what team you are getting swept by the LA Lakers.
All right. That is a tough one to take in. That's really, really tough. Wow, I didn't expect you to say that. Sweep. Wow.
Well, I say Lakers in 4. It doesn't matter when. I would rather say Lakers in 4.
All right. Wow. Okay. I know he's got something to say. I have something to say about that as well. So who do you think will play more games this year for the Lakers, Westbrook or AD? Because they're both injury prone in my book.
I don't think Westbrook is injury prone. I think Westbrook got injured. His major injury happened in Houston, and he recovered.
He missed some games last year in Washington, though, too. You got to realize that as well.
Yeah. It was due to the Houston injury that he really never recovered from.
Right.
But besides that, if you look at Westbrook's career, he was never a type of guy that gets injured. Like, we never looked at Westbrook like, oh, he's not durable. It's only happened to this year. I feel like Russell Westbrook will play a lot more games this season. Anthony Davis will play a Kawhi Leonard role. That basically he'll play a couple games, sit out a couple games, sit out. Because at the end of the day, we don't want Davis to get injured. So I would say Russell Westbrook's going to be the main guy for our team this regular season. We're not interested in being the first seed or the second seed. We're interested in making the playoffs. And when we make the playoffs, that's when we're going to go hard. Because LeBron James is not going to play for MVP this year either. So we're just there to go to the playoffs.
I'm with you on that one 100%, but also at the same time, Lakers fans had that exact same mentality last year. Oh, we just make the playoffs. We just make the playoffs. And look what happened. They ended up playing the 2 seed, which was Phoenix, as we all know. They didn't have to play Utah, but Phoenix was no joke. They were no walk in the park. Even healthy or not, you still have to play them. And let's see how it'll go this year, because I mean, that mentality, that's not Kobe mentality. Let's make the playoffs. No, you want to win every single game. If you went out and got Westbrook, and AD's coming back for another year, and you got Melo, Malik Monk, Kendrick Nunn, you got all these guys coming in, you're going to want to win every game. The pressure is always high on a team like the Lakers. Even now the Nets too, you want to win every game. So
that is true.
You know,
and I like that Kobe mentality take. I don't know if Papi Solo likes that Kobe mentality take.
Yeah,
but
people think I'm a Kobe hater. I'm not a Kobe hater. I'm just not a huge fan of his basketball. He's a great dude.
Joey, have you heard of Solo's Kobe take?
No, I haven't heard it.
What was it?
What does he think? Durant's better than Kobe?
I said I prefer Kyrie. I prefer James Harden. I prefer Jokic. I prefer Embiid. Yes, just as a player.
What?
Like I know Kobe's legacy, and it was great, but I just think for the style of play, I prefer
Jokic?
Jokic is the best offensive center we've ever seen in basketball. Basketball history. Basketball history.
I don't know about
better than Kareem, better than Shaq. Like, he's the best offensive center we've ever seen. What? And he's the most disrespected MVP in NBA history as well. Give Jokic his flowers.
I think he is disrespected, but I don't think.
But you can say he's disrespected, but he still did win the MVP. It's like winning a ring, and you can get disrespected for it. Like Kawhi won that championship with Toronto, and he still won it. People are going to disrespect him for it. They disrespect LeBron for the bubble ring last year, and he still won it. So when
but you're naming dudes that were named the best at some point. LeBron was the best at some point. Kawhi was the best when he went in Toronto. Jokic is not even. Jokic is barely in people's top 5. And
he's not top 5.
Yes, he is.
I don't think.
But I'm not here to be a Jokic stan. Jokic stan.
He might have to change that Nets jersey to a Nuggets jersey, end to end, from Brooklyn to Denver, from B to D.
From slandering Kobe as well. Don't forget that.
Right.
I think Denver's a sleeper, though. They are a sleeper, man. So watch out.
They're good team. That Jeff Green pickup was great.
Jamal Murray's got to get healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Michael Porter Jr. another year under his belt. He was looking really good last year. I think Millsap's gone as well. He's on 6 teams' radar right now. So we'll see. Maybe Millsap could end up in Brooklyn. Who knows? But the Nuggets will be interesting as well. Jokic did win MVP. I don't see him repeating. But on the MVP talk, who do you guys have winning the MVP this upcoming season? I've seen Luka, LeBron could win it. Giannis could win it again. Curry. Some even say LaMelo Ball could win it if he gets them to the playoffs. That'd be crazy for a second-year player to win the MVP.
That'd be a crazy story. That would be a crazy story.
He'd be the youngest player to ever win MVP, right?
Yeah.
He'll take over Derrick Rose, and then Derrick Rose fans are gonna hate LaMelo Ball.
I've never thought of that, but that would be beautiful, and I'm rooting for him. But I had my top 3 on the podcast a couple episodes ago, and I'm going to change it up because I forgot. And who I really think is going to have a huge run is Karl Anthony Towns. That's who I'm rooting for next season to win MVP.
For MVP, they might even win 30 games.
I think they're going to be a play-in team.
I think they're.
And if Steph Curry could be an MVP finalist, not making the playoffs,
I was going to bring that up.
Then Cat should be able to, if he performs amazing, like I think he will. I think their team is good.
Okay, so you got they might not even make the playoffs though.
You never know.
You got Cat, you got Anthony Edwards, and you got Russell, right? Those are your 3 guys.
Yep. Those are 3 good guys who barely played together last season.
Russell
and what about Russell?
I was gonna say, I don't know. Russell's a great player, but I don't know if he can stay healthy too. He's kind of another one.
Yeah, but if he does, we all see what happens. He carried the Nets to the playoffs.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and
Anthony
Edwards' second year was a great rookie. I think this team, if they play together, is a sneaky play-in team. Mark my words.
It's not a bad take, but it's all about Karl Anthony Towns' mindset. I just feel like his last couple years in Milwaukee, Minnesota haven't been the same. And I feel like he just wants out. I know he was linked to the Warriors last year. So, I mean, they can make a trade.
Wherever he goes,
but I don't think they'll make a trade for him, but we'll see.
I have him as the MVP candidate. I don't care what team he's playing on. With all the loss that he dealt with COVID and all that, I think he has a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to show y'all boys that he is a top 3 center in the league.
I think Cat is disrespected. I think people like when we start talking about the top 3 centers in the league, not counting Anthony Davis or Giannis as their power forwards. I also obviously Joel Embiid, Jokic, pick your poison. Who's 1 and 2?
Right.
I do not want to argue that, but then people just jump to Bam, Rudy Gobert, other great centers in the league. But people forget about Karl Anthony Towns. But also Joey's kind of right though about his mentality. I don't think Karl Anthony Towns has that it mentality like Giannis has it, Curry, Luka, any other guy that for me wants to win the MVP more. And my top 3 MVP candidates this year, I think it should be the same for everyone. I feel like these are the 3. I don't care how I'm gonna put them in order, but I don't care how you guys have them in order. At number 3, I think Giannis is gonna win MVP. Why do I say that? He has a chip on his shoulder for him not even being considered the best player in the world, even though he won the NBA championship. People are still saying Kevin Durant's better. People are still saying that Curry's better. People are still saying that LeBron's still better. He has that chip on the shoulder, and he wants to dominate this regular season and show, no, I'm taking over. I'm the face of the league, even though he went out and said that I don't care about being the face of the league, but I don't know, back in his head, he wants to be the face of the league.
All right. So better yet, you brought up did I cut you off, or are you trying to go continue about your MVP talk?
Oh no, but keep going. No.
Okay. So I'm glad he brought up the Minnesota Timberwolves, because that just made me think about the Chicago Bulls and how sneaky they could be in the Eastern Conference. Okay. Now you got DeRozan. He's been coached by Popovich. He knows what it takes to win. He always wanted to play for the Lakers. He's from Compton, but it's never going to happen just because the whole contract situation and the Kuzma deal, it never went down. Last trade deadline, actually last season. But I still think the Chicago Bulls are a sneaky Eastern Conference team. You pick up Alex Caruso. He's a really good defender. He's not a rising star, but he's a very good bench player. It's all about, Lonzo and see about him. Is Markkanen, is he a free agent or is he still on the team?
Lloyd Markkanen.
They're going to do a signing trade. They're working on a signing trade.
They're working.
Okay, so you got.
So he might not be there.
You got Vucevic. You got Lonzo. You got DeRozan. You got Caruso. You got Patrick Williams. Kobe White. Yeah, you got Kobe White. So, I mean, they could be a sneaky Eastern Conference team as well. I wouldn't sleep on them. They could pick up some wins, here and there, but we'll see if they could make, maybe an 8 seed or not. So I think it'll be interesting to see how the Bulls pan out.
Yeah, I think the Bulls are either going to be better than Philly or a 9th seed. Because we name all these great players they have. You got to remember, they have no depth.
No,
the Bulls
they don't
have no depth, and that works when you're the Lakers. That works when you're the Nets because your rotation is so good.
Right.
You don't need a great
both of those
depth.
teams are top heavy as well.
Super top heavy, and the Bulls not so much unless Lonzo takes a huge leap. I know Zach LaVine, played amazing. We
forgot about Zach LaVine too. That's their best player. I mean,
literally the best player.
We did not mention Zach. That's crazy.
We forgot Zach because I think we got so caught up in who they acquired this year. But it's funny because LaVine's a really, really good player. Obviously now he's got a gold medal. I mean, that doesn't mean jack for the NBA, but because the play style is totally different and they're playing against a bunch of C- guys overseas. But anyways, I want to say on the Eastern Conference real quick, I want to talk about the Miami Heat, obviously getting Kyle Lowry. Jimmy Butler signed that $184 million extension.
Oh, man.
Adebayo came back. Duncan Robinson on a $90 million deal. Actually, the highest paid player for an undrafted player ever. So,
wow.
Woo, that's pretty interesting to me. What do you guys think for the Miami Heat for their upcoming season? I think they're a threat in the East. I really do.
No, this is the thing. In Dub Zero, if you're watching this, I'm going to say it again. Okay. Jimmy Butler, love the guy, great mentality of winning. But let me tell you something right now. He got paid $144 million. I think it was a 5 or 4 year deal.
184 million.
84.
184 million. Yeah. Go ahead.
5 years or 4 years?
5 years. Yeah.
5 years, right?
Yep.
I'm telling you right this, Joey and Solo. I'm letting you know right now. Jimmy Butler is going to be considered the worst NBA contract in the league by the end of this year. I am not in this.
The next Joe Johnson or something, bro.
I'm not believing in this Jimmy Butler thing, bro. I think the Miami Heat really messed up giving that man all that money. I understand that he fits the culture. I understand he's the perfect Miami Heat guy. But if you're trying to win and you're going to sit and tell me that they're going to beat a healthy Brooklyn Nets or a healthy Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks, you are crazy. Look, this is the thing. I want to see what the Chicago Bulls are going to play this season. With Lonzo Ball giving them that playmaker that they've been dying for, because Kobe White and Zach LaVine were great duo, but they were a shoot first type of mentality. Lonzo Ball's a pass first. That's what they always needed. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chicago Bulls played a lot better than the Miami Heat this year. That's all I have to say.
That's very interesting.
I think it's interesting that you're bringing that point up, but I think you're forgetting that Eric Spoelstra is still coaching there. I think you're forgetting Pat Riley is still there too. So they know exactly what they're doing. Pat Riley runs that ship pretty tight. So I think you're taking a.
I think Pat missed for the first time in a while.
Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley don't make the shots, and I hate to agree with Lightoutsports because he's very awkward looking, but I think the Kyle Lowry signing for the Miami Heat is the most overrated, overhyped signing of the offseason. Man is 36 years old. He's not going to stop Kyrie. He's not going to stop James Harden.
Right.
What is he there for chemistry reasons? Like, and then Jimmy Butler, again, love him. In the 90s, he'd be a top 5 player. But you can't shoot 20% from 3 and be the number 1 option on a championship team.
That is true.
Very true.
It can't happen.
All right, so going back to Lakers real quick. In recent news today, Lakers and Nets, obviously, because I feel like this podcast is about the Lakers and the Nets. But Russ gifts a watch to James Harden on his 32nd birthday today. So what do you guys think about that? I know you're like, well, why are you asking me? Well, it's funny because if the Lakers and the Nets meet up in the finals, like, hey, bro, how about that watch you gave me? And how about that ring I'm about to take?
Oh man, I think this is, at the end of the day, I think these guys understand it's basketball. I mean, yeah, like I feel like they're not gonna be friends on the court, but off the court, they could still be friends. Kevin Durant could be LeBron's best friend off the court. I wouldn't care, but on the court, I don't want to see this dabbing each other up. Like, hey, that was a good layup. I don't want to see none of that. Okay, so if that was just Russell Westbrook play, is he trying to play chess and not checkers? Who knows? But
he's got so much money, it doesn't even matter.
Exactly. I think it's something we shouldn't overthink. I just think it was Russell Westbrook being nice to James Harden.
I disagree. I think Westbrook put a wire in the watch so we can listen in on the Nets practices the entire season. If I was James Harden, I would pawn that watch off immediately.
Bro, we all know that watch is going right in the collection. That's just going to go right.
Oh,
right
yeah.
Along.
He has a wall of watches.
That's another one to wear on a night out. Okay, is James Harden a top 5 shooting guard of all time?
Oh, I believe so.
Yes.
I believe so.
Yes.
I believe so.
Is he the fifth? Is he the 5th best?
He's better than D Wade.
Oh,
he's better than D Wade. He didn't win. He hasn't won yet. He hasn't won yet, but he almost single-handedly took down one of the greatest teams of all time. His team missed a lot of threes.
Not single-handedly, but I get what you're trying to say.
Not single-handedly, but he was the number 1 option on that team. And he's the one that didn't get hurt. So,
I think you're forgetting about D Wade's 2006 performance in that Miami Heat finals against the Dallas Mavericks. That is one of the greatest finals performances ever.
It was great, but he had such a short peak. D-Wade has such a short peak.
Right.
Wow. James Harden has been playing like this.
But then LeBron came there in 2011. So it's like he kind of stole all his under him,
Solo, this is the thing. I don't hate that. I don't. I think right now I have Dwayne Wade over James Harden. But in a world that the Brooklyn Nets do win, and I hope it doesn't happen, we got to start looking at James Harden and be like, he's the 3rd best shooting guard of all time. I'm sorry. I think I have to put him above James Harden because of the longevity of his prime, as he's been a lot better, like when we're talking about like who's been more durable for a longer span. I'm going to say James Harden. And also I have James Harden over Allen Iverson. I really do. I think I love Allen Iverson. I understand that he brought that team to the NBA Finals against the LA Lakers. Great. He has an MVP. Great. But at the same time, what is the point of going to the NBA Finals and losing? You can't use that against James Harden because James Harden also has been a better player throughout his career than Allen Iverson. So I think longevity speaks a lot about James. And if he wins the ring, I have to personally put him the third best. As of right now, I have him the fourth best shooting guard of all time. But if he wins, third.
I think Allen Iverson is more of a dog than James Harden could ever imagine. He comes from that era that he's a pound for pound type of guy. They say pound for pound, he's the best point guard, shooting guard the game's ever seen.
The thing is, though, he went out bad, though. Like James Harden left OKC, got better. Left the Thunder, left Houston, still performing. He even switched to point guard and still performing. I watched Allen Iverson jump from team to team, and he went out bad.
Yeah, and Joey, let me say, if you're starting a franchise today, right?
Yeah,
I would say so James Harden and Allen Iverson are right now in front of you. Forget what they have done. Forget everything they have done. All right. Who are you picking?
So I'm gonna agree with you. I'd probably have to take James Harden just because his shooting ability. His defense is not that great, but
better than Iverson's.
That is true. But he's taller, he's bigger, he's more physical. Yeah. He's one of the best finishers the game's ever seen. So I'd probably have to take James Harden. All right, moving on from James Harden, staying on the Lakers real quick. Jared Dudley is not returning to the Los Angeles Lakers. Their 25th man on the bench from the South Bay Lakers over there. He is not returning. He decided to take a assistant coaching job with the Mavericks. It's funny. He came out and said, I'm super surprised that I'm going to be on the Mavericks staff. This isn't directly from him, but similar to what he said. He's like, I'm going to be coaching for the Mavs. I'm really surprised about this. That the Lakers didn't re-sign me. Dude, you should know by now that you're a veteran minimum guy on any NBA team. He wasn't he on the Nets at one point?
Yeah, he was. That was
our best player, baby.
Jay Duds, baby. Jay Duds. So so you think his NBA career is done?
It's been done. I mean, Jared Dudley got in the court and it was during crunch time. I mean, trash time or whatever was the proper
garbage
name
time.
of it. Garbage time, right? That's the only time I ever saw Jared Dudley on the court. But LeBron was also in shock that the Lakers didn't re-sign him. So I think LeBron's just a little mad that they didn't re-sign Jared Dudley, but I understand why.
So they can have Lobo Tequila on the bench while they're not playing. LeBron's load managing and drinking his cigars and worrying about his damn outfit before he gets on the court.
But Jared Dudley is one of those guys that you'll love to have in any team. He's like, hey, LeBron, you're doing a great job. Here's a high five. Here's your water. Like, he's that guy. He brings a positive attitude. So I'm pretty sure that's why LeBron was, a little mad about it. But he'll get over it, and I, hope Jared Dudley does a great job with Dallas.
Go ahead.
I'm not surprised that they didn't sign him on the team. I'm more surprised they didn't add him to the coaching staff.
That's what I was just about to say. I was literally about to say the exact same thing.
That seems like a little bit of a slap in the face. Same. Yeah. I tried to do some research on it, and I think they might have a full coaching staff. I think you can only have like 8 assistants or something like that. So they might have a full coaching staff, but it's just crazy to me they wouldn't put him on a coaching staff. Like he's respected by all his teammates. It would make sense.
Training
exactly.
It makes sense that he went to the Mavericks now that I think about it, because Jason Kidd just took the job with the Mavericks. So I mean, it makes sense. Hey, Luke is a whole nother animal. Anyways, so I have another thing. I have Big O. Said Big O, Oscar Robertson. He said Russell Westbrook should have won MVP. What do you guys think about that one?
That's funny.
I think it's like when an old person sees somebody playing 2K on the Xbox and they're like, is that a real game? Like,
oh gosh.
Of course he thinks Westbrook should win it. Westbrook is doing things that people his age in his era could never do, besides him, obviously. So it looks crazy, but he has been robbed. I'm not gonna lie. But he's playing with some killers. So, Jokic deserved it. Harden deserved it. Curry deserved it. All these players deserved it. So it's hard for me to give Westbrook, because like he's not a stat patter, but some of his stats can seem a little inflated, especially when he loses. It is what it is.
Yeah. Although, honestly, Oscar Robertson is just that old guy that's just petty, that some dude that plays like him is not winning MVP. But again, I think Westbrook has been underrated. I think, people just look at his triple doubles and it's like, oh, well, it's Russell Westbrook. Okay, cool. Who's doing the same thing as Russell? No one is doing what Russell Westbrook is doing. So I understand where the Big O is coming from. But again, Jokic deserved it, had a better seed, better team, better year. I mean, that's all of those things are factors. It's not just the individual player, because then the MVP wouldn't be based on team seeding. It would be based on who's actually the best in the world. And with all that, if we're doing it like that, Westbrook wouldn't even be the MVP still. So that's my take on that.
At some point towards late in the end of the season, I actually thought Chris Paul was going to sneak away and take that MVP. Anyways, that's okay. I'm closing that book here. Damien Lillard, as of right now, said he's staying in Portland. I know a lot of Knicks fans were disappointed in that because they got they got Kemba Walker, so he's a B-level guy, and Damian Lillard's an A-level guy. It's like getting the off-brand of a bag of chips.
Yep.
So
definitely it.
Yeah, exactly. So the Bucks extend Budenholzer for 3 years. I want to open up that case real quick here as we talk about that, because Budenholzer has been on the hot seat almost his entire time in Milwaukee. And if he didn't win that finals, he was probably going to be out the door. And if they lost to the Nets in 7, he would have been out the door. So what do you guys think about that? Can the Bucks win another championship in the next 3 years?
Okay, so obviously there's factors, there's injuries on what team, or like. And when I mean in what team on the Brooklyn Nets, if the Brooklyn Nets are healthy, there's no chance that the Bucks are going anywhere. And Budenholzer is, for me, the luckiest coach in the league right now. There's no, you were in the hot seat for a couple years, and you finally catch that break that Kyrie and James Harden were injured. And, at the end of the day, he did a good job, coaching against the Atlanta Hawks and the Phoenix Suns. So I got to give him props. But I think he understands that. I guess it was God himself that gave him that opportunity to stay in Milwaukee, because there's not a lot of he got lucky. That's all I got to say. I
agree. All right. Yeah. Papi Solo, take it away on that.
I think every morning when Budenholzer wakes up, he should get down on his hands and knees and thank Kevin Durant's shoe, because that's the only reason he has a job right now. When the Bucks were down 0-2, everybody said he was getting fired. It was a wrap.
He was
the worst coach in the league.
At home. He was packing his
everybody was like, it's a wrap. All it would take is an inch, and Budenholzer would be fired. Giannis would be a playoff choker. I was telling this on the phone today or some point. Like, we were an inch away from the opposite, narrative. So it's just crazy to me that he gets that extension. But you know what? I'm never going to be mad at a man getting the bag. So feed your family, bro, but just know you're getting your ass whooped next season, man. So you better have a good vacation, bro.
Alrighty, staying in the Eastern Conference real quick here. I gotta talk to you guys about, you guys know who I'm probably about to bring up. Dennis Schroeder. He signed a 1-year, $6 million deal. He turned down a 4-year, $80 million deal with the Lakers midway through the season. Actually, it's a blessing in disguise for the Lakers, because they end up getting Westbrook, who's way better. I still think Schroeder fit in really well with the Lakers, with their culture. With the chemistry on court. He's a really, really good defender. I think he's super underrated. I think he's one of the best finishers in the NBA right now.
Schroeder?
Oh yeah. I think he's a great finisher. Oh yeah, especially how he plays off the ball too. And he's a really good defender. If you watch Lakers games, I know he does, but Schroeder's a really, really good.
I actually did like Schroeder this year, besides the playoffs. But besides that, this is what happens when you bet on yourself way too high.
Yep.
That's literally it. You had the chance to get 80 million. You wanted 100. The Lakers said, do your thing, go find it somewhere else. And he couldn't find it. And by the time he tried to come back to the Lakers, it was already too late, because we got Russell, Carmelo, Malik Monk. The Lakers won the offseason, in my opinion, and they used Dennis Schroeder's money. That's basically what they did. Yeah. So he bet against himself too high. I respect the hustle, but it didn't pay out.
Papi Solo, thoughts on the Dennis Schroeder?
Yes.
Celtics signing?
I'm a Nets fan, so of course, naturally, I hate the Celtics. But in a perfect world, the Lakers end up being trash, and Dennis Schroeder has a breakout season and gets signed for $100 million next offseason. This is a 1-year deal, so he could play amazingly and be fine. What sucks is he's on the Boston Celtics, and that's where guards go to ruin their careers. So it's tough. I do think the Celtics are a solid team. I did hear about a Dame trade, but I think it was a rumor, and it didn't involve Jaylen Brown, so it probably was not true. But I think Schroeder's a solid player, especially for $8 million. I think they got a steal. I would have loved to have him as a backup in Brooklyn, for $8 million. Would have loved it. So I think he didn't want to be in LA anyways, to be honest.
Right.
So he's not getting paid as much as he wants, but I think he has an opportunity to get the money he wants by next season.
I think the NBA is just getting more and more and more and more fun. I think it's just like going to the movies and getting like the biggest bag of popcorn you can get, especially now with all these teams. You got the big three with the Lakers. You got the Nets. The Knicks, I think, are going to be fun to watch. Obviously, with the addition of Kemba, the Bulls are going to be fun. Miami's going to be fun. Milwaukee, as they on their quest for their repeat. It's going to be a really fun season. We're going to wait for Kawhi to come back from the Clippers. Luka another year under his belt. The Nuggets, when Jamal Murray comes back healthy. The Suns, they might be out for redemption. Who knows?
This is the best era of basketball of all time, bro.
Yeah,
the best of all time.
I completely agree with that. So, did you guys watch the KD Draymond Chips Bleacher Report 20-minute segment? Or no?
I did.
You did? Yeah. Oh, you both watched it. I only watched it twice. I only watched like five or so minutes of it. I haven't really had time to finish it. But did you guys think KD and Draymond, like, they hit it off well, or like how did you think that whole thing went with them? Was it awkward? Like, because I know I saw some highlights. They were talking about Steve Kerr and Bob Myers, obviously the GM of the Warriors, who kind of put everything together. So do you think it was awkward or what?
Obviously, when you have like, a situation with one of your boys, because at the end of the day, although they did had that, iconic discussion against the Clippers or argument against the Clippers.
Right. That was weird.
Yeah, it was really weird. At the end of the day, they were boys. In the interview, they really never talked it out because management was trying to force Draymond to do something that he wasn't really comfortable doing.
Right.
But in the interview, I saw two grown men talking about it, understanding what went wrong. Draymond Green apologized, and then they just went on the core of what actually happened. And it's that the Golden State Warriors handle it poorly. And that's the ultimate reason Kevin Durant didn't stay a Golden State Warrior and he left. So I think it wasn't awkward at all. I think it was actually really fun to watch, seeing Draymond being open, seeing KD, talking about his feelings, how he felt. And I think it was a pretty good podcast or whatever it was. Yeah,
technically a podcast interview, whatever you want to call it. Papi Solo, what did you think about it?
I thought it was great. A lot of Warrior fans think Draymond and KD hate each other, so it was good to see them talk and show there's no hostility. And I thought it was amazing how they both agreed how terrible the Warriors front office is. Because like the way they handled that, you don't just suspend Draymond. Like, come on. And what that interview or podcast, whatever it was, showed me is that Draymond's going to be out of there eventually. And I think he's going to come to Brooklyn.
I think, everyone's going. Everyone's coming to Brooklyn.
Joey's reaction.
Everyone's going to Brooklyn.
He's going to be old. His contract ends. He's going to be old. Why not come and win one more ring with KD, your homeboy, before you retire and be an analyst?
I think they suspended Draymond here, if you really think about it, because they were so afraid to lose Kevin Durant because they knew he was potentially going to leave regardless. After all of that, he went there to get his rings, and I think they knew, they were scared. We have to suspend Draymond because if not, if we suspend Durant, he's going to get all pissed off or whatever. But I remember a while ago, I saw Bob Myers said that they're going to retire all their jerseys when it's all said and done.
Yeah,
I'm sure they will.
They got respect for all players.
Iguodala, Durant, KD,
leave.
Clay, and Draymond. So
but you can leave. And still get your jersey retired. So I just don't see Draymond as loyal as Steph Curry is going to be. I think Curry stays there, but I do think Draymond at the end of his team tries to be, a veteran on a contending team. It just makes sense to me.
All right. Ben Simmons, do you think he gets traded before the start of the season, or do you think he stays in Philly?
I think they think that Ben Simmons is LeBron James in 2009 for all these trade packages that they're asking for. So much picks, so much players. I saw one trade for the Golden State Warriors was Klay Thompson, 4 first-round picks, and James Wiseman for Ben Simmons. And I'm like, bro, who do you think Ben Simmons is?
I keep seeing all these clips of Ben Simmons on Instagram and TikTok and all this 3-point shooting and stuff. How many did he really take in that clip?
And I don't buy it.
I'm with you.
Yeah, you know what? He looks great. Like, if he has a 3-point shot, I think he's a top 10 player in the league. But
I think if he has a 3-point shot, he could be
the best.
He could be the best player in the NBA.
Honestly, I'm with you with that.
Crazy as that is to say, I really don't think it's far-fetched because of how good and talented he really is.
Yep. So, and he's great at every other aspect, but it's shooting that damn basketball. And
absolutely.
So, but again, those clips do not convince me. They're asking way too much for Ben Simmons. But I think their relationship with Philadelphia is definitely tarnished.
Mm-hmm.
Not answering Joel Embiid's phone calls. Daryl Morey and Ben Simmons are not in the right, they're not.
Daryl Morey's a mess.
He's a mess.
He's a whole other podcast to talk about.
Yeah.
So do you think Ben Simmons is staying in Philly, or is he getting traded solo?
I think for Philly's sake, he has to go because the locker room is going to be in shambles if he stays. Yep. Everything that went down. But I also want him to have a good year. Like, I believe that mental health is overlooked in the NBA, especially with the fandom and stuff. And I'm all for cracking jokes, but we gotta chill on Ben. Like,
no, we don't.
I know it's his job; he paid millions of dollars. But bro, like Paul George, he suffered from depression at one time. I just don't want to see. But
let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. Paul George ultimately showed the haters wrong. He showed me wrong because I was one of those guys that was
like he's older than Ben, so Ben still can do the same thing.
Playoff P, pandemic P, all this stuff, right? Paul George showed up. I don't care what anyone says. Paul George showed up
at 30 years old.
30,
just as he did against LeBron in the Pacers series. Nobody's discrediting Paul George. It's just he can't do it by himself, and even when he gets another start, he can't do it.
I agree.
He just doesn't do well with another guy. I think he was just so. He was so driven. Brooklyn. Yeah, of course. Yeah, on a bag of beans or New York or
that minimum
or Brooklyn hot dog, right? So, all right, sticking on Brooklyn real quick. Cam Thomas, I guess he's the next Kobe. They're trying to say.
Yeah, I can't believe you just said that.
Dude, I'm the one that's saying it. He's posted stuff saying there was an edit he posted on his Instagram saying Kobe Bryant 2.0.
Well, he loves Kobe. He wears number 8. At one point, he averaged 24 points even in the summer league. So it's just a meme, but that also is his favorite player, and he has that scorers mentality.
Yeah, he does. I remember him at LSU. I think he could be the steal of the draft. That's what they're saying.
Yep.
He's honestly a great player.
No, he was
27th.
27th. Yeah. So he could be really, really good. All right. So Cam Thomas, how many points is he averaging this season? 8 to 10, 12 to 15.
8 points because I don't think with how great of a talent he is, and I think he's a great rookie and a great pickup for the Brooklyn Nets.
Mm-hmm.
We got to understand that James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie do exist. They still got Joey Buckets that my co-host here,
Patty Mills.
They loves to say Patty Mills. They still got Claxton. I mean, they got they got to share the ball. They do. Blake Griffin is shooting his threes as well. They got to share the ball. So for Cam Thomas to pull up and, do the same thing he did in the summer league, I think it's unrealistic. Mm-hmm. I feel like he's a good role player, and it's going to be like the Kobe story, how Kobe's first year, he didn't play as much or he didn't give enough minutes. And then, progress him to being that player. I don't think he's going to be Kobe, but I do believe that they share a similar type of story.
He'll be better than Kobe, bro. Trust me. And to talk about how many points he'll average, I think best case scenario, he runs with his second unit, which is a good 20 minutes a game.
This is what I got to deal with in a weekly basis.
Good 20 minutes a game.
This is what I got to deal with every week.
Let me finish my point, you hater. With the big three mentoring him and the load management that, Kyrie and Katie are known to have, I think that will give him an opportunity to get some minutes. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say he'll average, 12 points a game, and I don't think that's too crazy to say.
I'm gonna go between 10.8 and 11. I think that's fair.
Yeah. And that would be a successful year for me.
Yeah, for a rookie. Oh yeah. All right, better career, Jalen Green or Cade Cunningham?
Jalen Green.
Like, this is the thing. When I watch Cade, and I understand he didn't have the best summer league performances. He looks very mature when he plays.
Yeah.
Like, defensively, he's locked in. He knows how to pass the ball at the right time.
Montverde.
But man, Jalen Green, dude.
He's just another dude. He's just another dude. He's just really good.
He's just really good. I don't know what to say.
He just got it. He's just got it. He's cold-blooded.
I don't know what to say. Jalen Green is that guy, and you pair him up with KPJ. I mean,
oh God, who's throwing whose Rolex at each other in the locker room?
I don't know, bro, but I just know that backcourt looks nasty. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
I love.
They might win a total of about 10 games.
All right, it's first season, but as they grow together, don't be surprised if the Houston Rockets get really good soon.
Yeah, when they get Dennis Schroeder next year
at $100 million contract,
and they get Patrick Beverly back.
Oh,
God, we were talking about Patrick Beverly. Patrick Beverly got traded from the Clippers to the Grizzlies to the Timberwolves, and now is he gonna stay in the Timberwolves? Nobody even knows. I feel bad for that dude. He's a dog, man. He's a grinder, man.
Yeah, he is a good. But like my favorite thing about him is that as soon as he joined the Clippers, I mean not joined, but as soon as Kawhi and Paul George joined the Clippers, he went up to Steph and said, or not up to Steph, he said someone close to him that Steph had the last 5 years. The next 5 are mine, word for word. That's what he said. And it's just
got a little confidence, man.
I like the confidence, but look where you at now. And the Clippers ultimately blew that iconic 3-1 lead against the Nuggets. So I think it's funny, but I don't want anything like horrible to happen to him. I don't want him to be out the league because I feel like he's a great player for a contending team. Coming off the bench,
he'll be in China in about a year or two. After he leaves the Timberwolves, he'll be in China.
Defensively, I think he's great, but I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll be a China MVP.
I think he's a great fit on Minnesota. He's also one of the reasons why I think they can make the playoffs. I understand he's not great offensively, but I think he plays his role well. And with him on the second unit, would be great for them. I also think he could get bought out and go to the Lakers, which would make sense.
I can't wait to go back to this.
They were talking about
clip this part.
The Lakers were talking about Darren Collison and Jesse James.
Darren Collison has been retired for like 3 years.
I'd much rather have Patrick Beverly than Darren Collison. He's been out of the league and he's probably a substitute teacher now, or he's probably selling insurance, or he's playing at LA Fitness, or he's doing some kind of podcast.
LA Fitness coach.
Jeez, man. All right,
I like Pat Bev, man. I like him.
I do too. All right, quickly away from the NBA, then I'm gonna get right back to it. Jake Paul, Tyrone Woodley, this Sunday, August 29th. I know you guys know who both of these two characters are. Who's winning? Tell me who.
Damn.
Yeah,
I'm going Jake Paul.
Wow.
I think Jake Paul's gonna pull this out. I really do. I sound crazy. I think Jake Paul is gonna knock out Tyrone Woodley. What is it? Is it a 12 round, 8 round? Yeah. Anyone know?
I think
it's a show.
I don't even know. I think it's
there's probably no judges or anything.
I think it's 5 rounds. I think it's 5 rounds.
5 rounds? Yeah, because Ben Askren's fight was 6 rounds, but it is sanctioned, so there is gonna be a winner no matter what.
Right.
So I honestly do think because if you look at Tyrone Woodley's UFC career, he was a great, stand-up, fighter, but
big power guy.
Yeah, big power guy, but it wasn't like natural to him. Like when he felt like something was coming at him,
he's lights out. Is
I'm getting into but I feel like Jake Paul has been practicing a lot. I think people are underestimating Jake, and I feel like he's been taking this serious. And he's
I'm going back to the NBA real quick, just because you were doing all the head bob, and that's what the Lakers are doing. And Devin Booker and Chris Paul gave them 2 punches right to the mouth in the first round of the second.
All right, well, so we're gonna end the show. Bye, guys.
Yeah, right. All right, the Solo.
That was cold-blooded.
Who do you have winning?
I think there's gonna be no knockouts. I think a lot of this is just entertainment. I do think they're actually gonna fight. I just because like if we were gonna see a knockout, we would have saw a knockout with Mayweather. Fought with the Logan brothers.
Yeah,
but I think they both are gonna make a lot of money. I do think Tom Williams is going to outfight him because fighting is no joke.
Right.
Put in years and years and years of training. I know a lot of sports is a huge wrestling fan. This ain't wrestling, my boy. This is real fighting. All right. Yeah. So I think they're gonna go at it. It's Logan, right? Logan's fighting.
Jake.
I think Jake will get a couple punches off, but I think Woodley is going to technically
win. When Jake Paul wins, I want you to buy yourself a Jake Paul shirt. All right.
Sure. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. If Tyrone wins, I'll do something. I'll buy like a merch.
I don't know if you guys know this, but the bet is if Jake wins, he has to get Tyrone Woodley tattooed on him, and if Woodley loses, he has to get Jake Paul tattooed on him.
I'll do the same bet. Let's do the same bet. You down?
What?
so
Papi Solo on my leg?
No, bro. You'll get Tyrone Woodley on your leg.
If Jake Paul loses, he's getting a Woodley tat. And if Woodley loses, he's getting a Jake Paul tat. That is
that's why
Jake Paul's confident, man. If
he's the one that
if you're doing that, It's funny.
He's making 10 mil.
Jake Paul's worth more money than Woodley is. That's
Wait,
crazy.
Joey, you're here asking the questions. I wanna ask you, who's winning? Who's winning? Tyron Woodley or Jake Paul?
Who's gonna win the fight between Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul? I'm gonna go Jake Paul, honestly, just because he's younger. He's younger. He's been training his ass off, honestly, for the past few years. I don't know, man. I just really I've got a strong feeling about this kid. I really do.
Ever since I saw you with that Lakers shirt, I knew you knew what you were talking about.
No, I mean, I understand Woodley's a world-class champion, but Paul, I'm not saying he's experienced, but he's a lot younger. I think he's in much better shape. I think he's
taller,
Woodley.
longer reach.
He's taller, he's longer reach. I don't think he has. I think Woodley doesn't have. He's got nothing to lose. Jake Paul has everything to lose because he has a hit list or a checklist on who he wants to continue to fight. So, I mean, hey, who knows? Honestly, anything could happen. I mean, they didn't think he was going to beat Robinson. They didn't think he was going to beat Askren. I mean, I know he's fighting a real fighter this time.
We knew he was going to beat Askren, bro. We knew he was going to.
I honestly thought I was confused. I didn't know who was going to win.
Askren's never been a stand-up fighter. It's just not how he fights.
I didn't know it was going to be like that though.
Miles Garrett Miles Garrett has been linked to Jake Paul and Logan Paul now. Like that's been spewing in the news the past couple of days.
That would be awesome, but who knows if Miles Garrett can fight though? Like being big and fighting,
right?
Two different things.
I don't think he has the stamina. I don't think he's in. I'm not saying he's not in shape. He definitely is, but fighting shape, people don't realize
he might be in too much of shape.
Right, exactly. That's what I thought with Logan too. Logan was gassed early on because how muscular he was too.
Yeah.
People don't realize fighting style and working out is totally different than bodybuilding and football working out.
Yeah,
that's what people don't understand. They think, oh, I'm just so big and muscular, I'm gonna get in the ring. When this guy here is ripped to shreds and tunes you the bleep up. So all right, definitely. So you're going with Solo. You're going with Woodley.
I'm on Woodley.
Lights Out's going with Paul. I'm going with Paul.
It makes sense. This is why I don't respect Laker fans, bro. You're both out of your minds.
Come on, every day,
bro. Gosh, no.
It's gonna be every day, bro. Let's go.
He's got secret merch in his room with Jake Paul.
I honestly, I despise Jake, but now I love him. I just love.
When's the fight exactly?
August 29th. This Sunday, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna not be there. I'm gonna be in my couch.
I might do a watch party on this. If you're watching this, I'll be on Twitch watch partying that fight or in Discord. We'll see. It should be fun though.
Alrighty, so to wrap up the show, I like to ask you guys 5 questions. It's what I do with every guest that comes on. Favorite NBA moment ever?
Oof. You want to go first?
Me? I'll go first. Mine is the Kyrie shot over Steph Curry in the finals.
Game 7, 2016.
Okay, wait. My bad. I have tied that one and then Vince Carter's dunk contest. That was the most monumental. Where he went, it's over.
Insanity.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Lights out.
The Kyrie was my second pick, but the first pick, it has to be the block by James. That was in Game 7. Blocked by James. I remember because I broke the fan when I jumped. I broke it. So it's like in my heart. So yeah, that's my favorite moment.
If you guys could have anyone on your podcast, who would it be?
Not Solo.
I'm going to go Kyrie Irving. I would love to just have a conversation with that dude, bro. I feel like he's so misunderstanding and so overhated. It would be a great talk. Now go, hater.
Who would I have? That's a good question. Honestly,
probably The Rock or something like that.
Oh gosh.
I wouldn't mind The Rock, but I don't know. I don't know. I think I don't want to say LeBron because I feel like he'll be a horrible podcast guy. I'll probably say Giannis. I think that'll be a funny conversation to have with Giannis. He looks like a cool guy to talk to, so I'll probably say Giannis.
Now I want to show him everything you've been saying about him all summer.
I just said that he's not the best player in the world. That's all I said.
And he's gotten that many times throughout his career, and now he's an NBA champion.
Yeah,
and he's got an MVP and a Defensive Player of the Year. My next question here is: will Curry win another ring?
Nope.
So you think 3 and that's it?
That's it. He's done.
Wow. Especially if he stays on the Warriors.
And I don't hate Curry. I love Steph. I really do. I think I love Steph a little too much, but I don't think he's gonna win another ring with the Golden State Warriors right now. If they don't do any type of moves and they stay like this, no.
Who is going to have a better career, Tatum or Luka?
Oh,
Luka,
100%.
Luka.
Who's likely to win a ring first?
Oh, that's a tough one. Well, if Tatum can, stay at his peak and wait for the big 3 to retire, he has a chance.
I'm gonna say Luka's gonna win a ring first.
Imagine they play each other in the finals. Celtics, Mavs.
That'd be dope. I'll root for Dallas. I have
like
Dallas
the score would be 80-80.
Yeah. I'm actually a bandwagon fan, so I follow players. So I've been following LeBron since Cleveland, Miami, Cleveland back, and now
right here too.
Right, perfect. So I know LeBron's gonna retire soon, and the guy that I've been looking at has been Luka. So I'm rocking with my boy Luka. I think Luka's gonna win a ring first.
Is AD a Hall of Famer?
No.
Yes, he is.
Why don't you think he's a Hall of Famer?
I think he underachieved. He underachieved a lot before he got to LA, and that ring makes us forget about that. I do know it got cut short because of Cousins' injury. They were a great duo. That was a fun team to watch.
That was. Rondo was playing great too in that team.
Fun team to watch, but he even has Drew Holiday, who ends up being decent, but he wasn't like that with AD, and I just feel like it depends. It really depends. If AD can win a Finals MVP and one more ring, then yes.
I think if AD retired today, he'll be an automatic Hall of Famer.
First ballot?
I think not first ballot, but he'll definitely be a Hall of Famer because although you can say he's underachieved, he's always been considered a top 5 power forward throughout his career, and he also has won an NBA championship. And he was also a big part of that NBA championship. Not like he was
0 MVPs though.
True, but there's a lot of players in the Hall of Fame that don't have MVPs as well. So
there's players who haven't been in the NBA who are in the Hall of Fame.
Kyrie, did you say Kyrie's a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Yes. Well, AD's a Hall of Famer.
No. Yes. Kyrie had a better career.
I mean,
that's a tough one. Is Paul George a Hall of Famer? No.
Oh, no. Of course not.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Is Derrick Rose a Hall of Famer? I had this conversation with my friend. Is he Hall of Famer because he's got an MVP?
I'm gonna say yes for Paul George. I think Paul George is the Hall of Famer.
I think Derrick Rose will get it because of his redemption story, because we all thought he was done, and now he's still playing efficient basketball. So it's kind of like a Vince Carter situation where Vince got injured, but he stayed in the league for 20 years.
And you also got to look at it like this is the Basketball Hall of Fame, and there's players in the Hall of Fame that you look at like, how is he a Hall of Fame?
I'm pretty sure my uncle's in the Hall of Fame. He never played basketball a day in his life.
It's not like the NFL, but this one's gonna get you guys. Who is likely to enter the Hall of Fame first, Rondo or Chris Paul?
Chris Paul. Oh, never mind. Oh, that's a tough one. Rondo's prime was good, but Chris Paul
Rondo has 2 rings as well.
Yeah, right. But Chris Paul was the best point guard in the league at one point. It was and Darren Williams, and Rondo was never the best point guard in the league.
No, he was not. My last question here for you. This is going to shake it up a lot. I got to clear my throat real quick. Let me clear my throat. How many rings do you think the Lakers would have won if Chris Paul was traded to the Lakers in 2011?
Go ahead.
And that trade was not vetoed
with David Kobe. Stern. I think in a span of 5 years, they would have won at least 2.
Solo.
I think they would have won 0.
Really?
I don't think they would have fit what most people think, unless they added like a really good third.
And I'm not saying that. What I'm about to say, I'm not saying that this guy is like Kobe, but he has similar play styles, and I'm talking about Devin Booker. Devin Booker, plays great along Chris Paul. And if Chris Paul played great along D-Book, I'm 100% sure that Chris Paul will play great along.
That's what winning rings. That's what having many rings, and they got lucky to get the finals this year alone because y'all got injured.
You have to think though, Devin Booker did score 70 points in a game
and lost.
but I'm saying, but still, 70 points in a game, regardless, is still crazy.
Yeah, I love D-Book. So I'm not here to stand D-Book. I love D-Book. I just see, the thing is, I would have to go back and see the standings, what teams were around back then to really, really get deep down into it. But I think they would have definitely made the finals a couple times. It would have been tough to win. But the Lakers are known to put a good team together. So I'll give them 1. I'll give them at least 1.
All right, so you're going to give them 1. Last question. This is it. Bradley Beal or Devin Booker? Jeez.
D-Book, 100%.
Yeah? Lights out.
I'm gonna go Bradley Beal.
Yeah, same.
I'm gonna go Bradley Beal. I'm going Bradley Beal, and I'm gonna give a hot take right now. And I don't really want to talk. I don't really want to argue about it. I just want to end the show with this. Luka Doncic, if he retires today, he's a Hall of Famer.
I mean, so is Giannis. So
Hall of Famer. Luka, right now, if he retires, Hall of Famer.
Kawhi is a Hall of Famer if he retires today. Westbrook's a Hall of Famer if he retires today.
But Luka has been in the league for 2 years, and he's already
Joe Harris is a
Or
Hall of
3
Famer
years,
if he
my
retires
bad.
today as well.
Joe Harris,
stop it. Stop it.
Best shooter in NBA history, man.
No.
All right. Well, I think that does it for us here today.
Yeah.
Give you guys self a round of applause for coming on the Inquisitive Mamba podcast. That was a tough one to take in there. He's saying Luka's a Hall of Famer for playing only 2 seasons. Well, this was episode 28 of the Inquisitive Mamba podcast. We covered the NBA. We talked about Kobe Bryant 2.0. We talked about the Rising Stars, Chicago Bulls, Minnesota Timberwolves, the Nets, Lakers, that rivalry that's brewing for this NBA offseason. A little bit about the Golden State Warriors with Durant and Curry, Draymond, and all that drama that went down. The Miami Heat and their Jimmy Butler that I guess should be playing in the 90s. Who knows? But that does it for us today. Make sure to check us out on Spotify, TikTok, Instagram. Make sure to check out Papi Solo and Lights Out on TikTok as well. And make sure to check out their podcast, NewRivals,
on Player Choice, baby,
on TikTok. And we will see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your night, evening, wherever you guys are around the world. The Inquisitive Mamba is signing off.
I had a lot of fun, man. Thank you so much.
Of course, man. Thank you guys
Nets
for
in
coming
4.
on.